So, good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's class. So, continuing our year-long series on being, and today we are looking at some of the things that we can deal with, or behaviors, common practices, or occurrences that happen to, I don't want to say all of us, but they do happen, and how we might deal with them, or how we might be better prepared to deal with issues like this. Now, from time to time, or rather every Saturday, we have people who are coming for the first time and they struggle sometimes to understand what is being all about. What are we doing for 52 weeks or 52 classes? What are we trying to answer with the subject of being? Now, what being is all about is an intentional way of choosing who you want to be in a situation, an intentional way of acting in the present moment from a desired future state. That is, you choose a desired future state, which is like what you really want or what you desire, and you are acting from that place today, where I want to be in 1 week time, at the end of this meeting, at the end of the year, at the end of 5 years. This is where I really want to be. So I'm having a conversation, and I really want that the conversation leads to my employment. And I'm asked a question that is throwing me off balance, or my neural systems, my unconscious, is giving me an interpretation about the faces of the people interviewing me. They don't like me. But then, in intentionality, I'm asking myself, am I responding to they don't like me? Or I'm responding to, at the end of this conversation, they have chosen me? Now, these are all possible states of being that many times we are not aware of. We always think that something is happening to us. The environment is making us. Nothing really makes us act. We are choosing how we are acting at any time T, but the unfortunate part, we are not conscious of it. Now, this is not for 99% of humanity. This is 100% of humanity. So, but when what being begins to open our eyes to, we can decide. It's in our power, irrespective of the drama going on. We can just stay put. Now, in another way to put being is we have decided the context. We are not deciding the outcome, but we have decided the context, who we are going to be. Now, I'm going to remain calm, irrespective of any provocation. So the other party is calling me stupid, whatever. Now, but I have chosen a particular way I'm going to be. And I have decided to stay that way, irrespective of what the other party is throwing at me. Now, that is what being is. There is a lot of intentionality, there is a lot of self awareness inherent in being. So, again, for both for old and for new people, one of the things that we've clamored for a lot in these classes since the beginning of the year, that we begin to have participants who choose to facilitate. And that I've always said, and like I said in the last class too, when you sit on the seat of the participant or on the of the facilitator, the class is different for you. The experience. And I said last Saturday, with this class is ending 31st of December, make sure you seize one of the moments. Just this, decide to be a facilitator and see what comes up for you. See what changes it makes to you. See what difference the class makes for you. And I'm glad today that somebody has taken up to this class. And I'm hoping that after today's class, which Jane Odega is taking, we would have people take the rest classes for the rest of the year. And I might not even have the need to show up. So without much ado, I want to hand over the class to Mrs. Jane Odega to continue from there. Thank you very much. And thank you, Jane, for anchoring to this session.
Wow. Thank you so much, Mr. Tunde, for this opportunity. Welcome, everybody. As we dive into the case of the office romance gone wrong, I am hoping that a lot of us has read the case. So we're going to start this morning with a poll. But for the benefit of those that have not read the case, is there anyone that have read the case that is going to give us a brief summary of what the case is all about? Thank you. If you did read the case, if you want to tell us your own perspective about the case, that would be great.
Good morning, all.
Good morning.
Yeah, thank you very much, and thank you. At least we are seeing your face now. For so many weeks, or months, we haven't seen your
We will
face,
see
but
everybody's face at the end of this year. Everybody must facilitate.
this facilitating work you are doing so has exposed your face. Very beautiful. Well done.
Thank
Yes.
you.
So, the case we are looking at today is an office romance gone wrong. So the case they presented to us is one Elizabeth, who is a top officer there. She was having a relationship with her CFO called Brad, and it was all going on well, but after some time, oh, it's like it's echoing to me. After some time, the whole thing, scattered, and the CFO himself started going out again with the relationship ended, and he started going out with a junior officer to this Elizabeth. You can see how painful it is. Somebody who is under her, and they did not hide it. They made it so open that everybody, knew that something was going on now with the Oga and a junior person. And it made her really, very, very uncomfortable, made Elizabeth very uncomfortable. She wasn't happy, and even I think sometimes when she tried to express herself, some people just told her, just keep your private life private to you. You understand? Nobody was really interested in whatever, she was going through with the trauma she was passing through. Then the worst part of it was when they now said she should come and train this. I think I read this somewhere. She should come and train this so-called cloud that is under, that is already going out with her former Oga boyfriend. Huh. As a woman, that thing is very, very painful. Oh. So I just, for my own mind, when I read up to that part, I say, whatever being is saying, what I would do first of all for my mental health is to leave that job, because it was one of the things that they were even thinking of, whether should she leave the job or should she continue? Is it not the person that is alive that will work? If you run into a mental health problem and you are not able to, your mind is no longer in one place. This being we are talking about, so I don't know. Like you're in your house, yeah. Then your husband decided to sleep with the girlfriend and even marry the girlfriend. He didn't even say he's sorry and he's a one of something. I'm sorry, I'm not going to continue. But this time he's making it known to you that I don't care. I want to continue. Show. Will I now die because of I want to stay on in the marriage? So that was my own take. Oh. All right, thank
Thank you
you.
so much. Somebody wrote in the chat that the B no go be oh. Thank you. Which other person wants to throw light into the case? Which other person wants to? Somebody else to throw light into the case if you have read it.
It's a very short, in fact, this is the shortest I have seen so far in being classes. So anybody that has not read it that is there, it will not even take you more than 2 minutes. Just run through it very fast and let's have your discussion. It's not a long
Okay.
book.
We
Everybody
can
has
see there is Toes. Toes is raising her hands and Odunayo. So Toes, if you want to go first. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I read it, and from my own perspective, there are so many things to be put together. I know it's not easy for Elizabeth, but I look at it, okay, because you have not gotten another job. For me, because at times you can say, oh, this is troubling me, but by the time you now add the financial problem to what you're having, it's going to be another case altogether. For me, for me, I will try to bear everything until I get another job. I'm not going to just step out without another job, without another source of income. So, and she's good at what she does. Offers have been coming in. It's just that, okay, maybe she has not gotten an offer that will match what she has currently. So, if with what she has, she can negotiate to get a better job. So for me, I would try to look at getting another job as fast as possible before I leave. That's my own perspective, because excuse me, this may be difficult, but there are times that with finances you'll be able to resolve some issues because you can financially help yourself. But when you now find yourself and you now say, oh, okay, you are being troubled from an emotional part from a relationship that failed, and you now add to it again, when you can't, you have financial issues that you cannot resolve. I think that would be a double problem. So for me, I will, as much as I can, I will bear for the period that I will get another job before I leave. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Toes. Mr. Odunayo.
Thank you very much, ma'am. And good morning, everyone. So for me, I read it, and it wasn't a very good reach. I wasn't happy at all. I can't. But then again, because of the classes we had, I was just asking that. So who can she be? And the truth is that she can become a different person to handle it. But is it worth it? If I'm being open, just like what Madam Harriet mentioned, is it worth it? Because at the end of the day, it's not a great situation, honestly. I also do not think that her reporting lines have acted in her best interest. And for me, I think that is the one I had an issue with. I don't have a problem with Brad. He's okay. It's okay for him to behave in whichever way and manner that he chooses to behave. But then again, the person who she reports to also has a responsibility over her. And I don't think he has done a good job in that, because he has tried to remove the emotional situation from it and has acted only in the interest of the organization and not in her own interest, by saying that, oh, if she can go away from the sticky situation, she can be a mentor. That's not the conversation you should be having. You haven't even asked the person who reports to you what happened, because you can't say it's just work. Oh, it's work, and so you had a relationship with someone at work, it didn't work out, and move on. That's a human being who reports to you. Where's the psychological safety you are creating for that person to thrive? And then you are part of the conversation of her going to with that person to a location and then going to mentor but they should be a little bit more sensitive to these things. And so for me, it's not even whether Brad is on with Claudia, but how management have also handled that situation. They haven't handled it with respect for her. And it's possible it's just my own interpretation. Someone else may say, no, that's not correct. But if I were in her shoes, on the basis of that, I would take it, even if it's taking a pay cut, because from what she's saying, She may not be able to see an organization that pays that much. But I mean, for her own sanity, because it's not, I know that if she flips the script, and from what we have learned, and I know that's possible, if being in that organization has much more positives than negatives, then she has to reinvent herself in a way that the situation means nothing. It's been done before, she can choose to do it. But if there's nothing else outside of what she has mentioned, which is the pay or growth and all of that, I think she can achieve that on another different trajectory, and just let that, because that organization is not an organization you want to even begin to think long term with how they have handled her. I don't think she should be considering staying with them much longer, because this is one event. What if another event happens that is different from this? Will they handle it differently? Would they be more empathetic towards her? I don't think they have emotional intelligence as an organization, and that's not where I think she should stay long term.
Oh,
Thank you
thank
very
you
much.
so much. Emotions are running this morning. Vic.
Hello. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My take in this is that office romance is something that nobody should encourage, because it can go south. I'm sure before she started, she should have considered, if this had happened, how would she handle it? But she's already in it, and then it's turning sour. One thing is that she has been in a very high capacity position. She should have made some financial. She should have, made her financial stand very stable. That in case of anything goes, then I'm out of here. So that's where she has not made preparations for, and is for all of us. Then whatever you are doing, make sure you are in a very financially stable position. In case anything happens, you should be able to move along. She's considering moving to another, or if she will quit or if she will stay. For me, I will say stay. Make yourself prepare against every odds before you jump the ship. Look at them. Sometimes it's good to take a position of good riddance to bad rubbish. I'm going out with a guy, he's cheating on me, he's not even making it, he's making it so obvious in my face. And if I stay, I'll watch both of them. Brad is going to do the same thing to Claudia in that same office, because it's shown that he's a serial cheater. So I will take away my eyes from them and continue doing my business and make my own preparations against all odds. Bear it and then move on. I know it's a very difficult position to say because I'm not in it, but if I think I will do that position. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vic. Victor Okudawa.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I strongly believe what Vic said. I agree with her, because I feel like in the work environment it shouldn't exist, because why would, like, it shouldn't, because it's very detrimental to the company's status and the company's well-being, because having to have two people being in a romantic relationship can be detrimental, in the sense that moving forward, if something were to go wrong, it can also affect the company. Some people might look at it as if, or it might not, but in deeper introspective or retrospective view, it can really affect the company. So both parties were like, oh, this, that. Let's just go for a drinks after work. That was the initial plan. From drinks after work, he ended up going on to a date. Then from a date, he ended up going to a relationship. So that relationship didn't even last long, because I feel like Brad wasn't showing signs of interest. He wasn't really interested in her, and she was really interested in him. So I feel like if she knew exactly the point, at the point where she felt she was putting her all in and Brad wasn't reciprocating, she should have just called quits and just pulled out from it. But she didn't. She didn't pull out. She kept on going on, and that led to him looking elsewhere to find someone that he felt was okay, way better than Elizabeth. and that's what caused everything. So I feel even Brad, he will still end up looking for someone way better than Claudia, because his eyes are not settled for one thing. He's looking at multiple things. He's not calm, and he's not calm, and he's not looking at what he has in hand. He's looking at what he wants to get moving forward. So all those or everything, just I feel like it shouldn't like office romance shouldn't be something that should happen in a corporate firm, especially a big one, because Elizabeth was working in the sales department, marketing department, and Brad was working in the accounting department. Both departments are, even though they don't look interlinked, they're actually interlinked. So if one side is wrong, if one side is having issues, the other side will surely have issues. So it's both interlinked. So that will also affect the company. That's why I just feel.
Thank you so much, Victor. Omojowe. Omojowe.
Yeah, good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, ma'am. I've been quiet out for a long time. Yes, I read the story. Let's take it outside the context that if they are not the same in the same company, how will she react? So if I were the one, I would make up my mind because she was in the company also having office romance. She was also going out with Brad in the same office. Now Brad has gone with another person and she's feeling bad with it. Well, everybody emotions are different, but one thing I have learned personally is I don't take things personal with people because if you say I should mentor, I come here to work. Than work, I am working. Anything you want to do with your life, you have your life. It will not affect me psychologically, sincerely, because you are the one that have your life. Brad will still leave that Claudia and go to meet another person. The way he left her to meet another person, he will still leave her and go to another person again. If you say I should mentor her, I will mentor her. It's not a big deal. I will do it because I'm there to work. It's a psychology. I tell my colleagues, I come here to work. I don't come to make friends. And people say, why don't you have friends? I say, because I come here to work, so you are my colleague. Even as I went to school, the 4 years I went to school undergraduate, I told them I only have one friend in this class. And they were like, what? I said, yeah, all of you were my classmates. You are not my friends. So we should distinguish that. So if you want a private, I love life should be separate. If you don't want to fall in love with Brad again, cut him off and do your job and let your emotions go. Because if you use that, what if you go to another place, same thing happen? How will you cope with it? So I just visualize sometimes we are too emotional that, oh, we'll take this action and the same thing keep repeating itself. You will just be breaking down always. But once you make yourself stable and say, it's not my business, I am here to work, you do what you want to do, mentor her and get away with it. One day she may come to thank you. She may use you as a referral point. Oh, thank God, this woman mentored me, this happened, this happened. And that's how my thoughts do. It may be different, but that is me and that is my thoughts. I have learned to because I have suffered emotion when I was growing up. So I've learned not to be emotional about issues. Because some things we are running for, you will see meet it again. So I just face the emotion, the things once and for all, and everybody walk away. Thank you very much, man.
Queen, thank you so much.
Good morning, all. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Okay, thanks. Actually, I'm happy you're the one anchoring this. I love your voice.
Thank you.
Now, on my own part, I have many points to this. I'll start with Elizabeth. She dated this guy for 2 months, and although it wasn't that serious, I think she got attached to him. Then, secondly, I'll go over to Brad. Brad, it's called office romance, right? Yeah. She dated him for 2 months. And she was, she was, not penalized, but she was talked to by the CEO that she should put her love affair aside and focus on her work. But that wasn't told to Brad, who went ahead to date Claudia. And that was not told to Claudia. Because if it was told to Claudia, it wouldn't lead to marriage because they are planning to get married. So what I'm saying now is, from the CEO's point, he was hammering on her and her relationship, but he wasn't hammering on Brad and his relationship or Claudia and the relationship. So I think this is a one-sided something. Then secondly, Brad, everyone is saying that he will leave Claudia. I don't think so. They're getting married. So if he gets married, possibility that he will cheat on her is there, yes. Possibility that he might not cheat on her is also there. So that's for them. Then for the company, for them to see it one-sided, she's been pointed out in a relationship of two. The man is not being pointed out. But when he went on to Claudia, they were being congratulated in the office when they said they love birds in the office. That means something is going on here. She's being picked on. It's not just office romance. Something is going wrong. If the CEO can allow the CFO have an affair with her and then scold her, but have an affair with someone else, a junior staff, and allow that pass, calling them lovebirds, I feel there's something wrong. So I agree with Odonayo, who said that this is the company. The company is toxic. So and then now she's being asked to train the lovebird or love chick. I feel that they're all up for some, they're all up against her. So I would leave. I would find a way to leave because from the reading, they said she has her ways with other companies. She can always walk up to any company and talk with them because she's being recognized for her skills and her speciality. So I believe that she can walk up to any company, talk with them, and arrange something close to what she has in the company instead of staying there longer. And now, on a personal note, if I was the one, my former self before the being class, I would have taken I could have taken a lady on, one way or the other. But after the being class, I will ignore her. But the training, I will make her training a miserable training for her. So she'll know that she fought me, even though it's a 2 months relationship, but I'll make her feel something. And then I'll leave because I know that I might do it in a way that it will be noticed. The fact that they're picking on me, noticing what I do, but they're not noticing what she does, they will notice that something is not right somewhere. So that's for my own perspective, my own point of view.
Thank you so much, Queen. Now, on this initial stage, Oluchi and Bisola will speak. Then we'll go to the next question, which I'm really eager to, because I can see a lot of emotions running. So, Oluchi.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Thank you, Ms.
Good morning.
Yeah, for me, I've not read the article completely, but from the part I've read and from what we've discussed already, it's going to be painful. It was a short one, 2 months. I don't expect myself to be so committed into it already, not to see something that could come up anytime soon. But fine, it's happening already in the office. I'll feel bad. And then this job is paying me well. Like the last speaker said, the being I was, or what I were before this being class, what I would do is I don't want to leave my job, at least not then, because I've not gotten a new one to go to. I will look for a younger person, a younger male colleague there that maybe I've been close to, not any affair, just been close to. I don't mind funding it, just go out, where I'll make sure that Brad will see us one from time to time, so that just to help my mental sanity, because he too, it took one way or the other, put some, I don't know which word I would use now. Instead of me trying to be depressed, looking for how to be away from other persons and all of those, I will find a way to get even. Might not be the best, but to help me feel better, get some other colleagues there, male friends that I've had before now, not having any affair though, but just hang out with them, spend some time with them. Not them, one person, not them, just one person, and spend some more time with that person. That way, to look like, oh, I was left out, I'm losing out or something, because I'm still fine. I've not been destroyed in one way or the other. I'm still a very fine lady that will still get somebody at some point. So that's my take for now, the former being. But I know that the new being that we're being now will handle it better, but I won't leave my job for anybody until I get something better. Thank you.
Thank you, Bisola. Then, and I'll lastly speak, Odunayo will speak briefly before we go on to the next question. So, Bisola.
Good morning, everyone.
Good
First
morning.
joiner, first time. Thanks for the invite, Jane. So I mean, I'm only reading from the extract, I presume, and it indicates that the relationship ended in a messy end. Not quite sure what the messy end is, but my perspective really today is that it takes two, and two people in a relationship, two adults for that matter, and life is not linear. Things are not always going to turn out the way you plan it necessarily, but it's about how you react to the situation that would differentiate or allow you to, learn your lesson and move on. Otherwise, you stand to stay stagnant and not improve on yourself or be any better. And if you're not careful, things will pass you by. Even better things will pass you by because you're so stuck in the moment and not utilizing the learning points from the situation to move on. Now, I appreciate it's a relationship, and so emotions are involved. Now, office relationship will never end. Yeah, and she will definitely not be the last note of a situation such as this. And it is really, I feel, embracing the best of the situation. And now, Claudia, potentially in terms of how she's acting, woman to woman, if you bring it down to that, you could say that they should really have a conversation. And Claudia could be more sensitive to the way Elizabeth might be feeling, or approach her to just say, I appreciate it's a very tenuous situation. Can we just discuss a way forward so that we can all individually do the job that we're here to do? Somebody needs to be the bigger person, so to say. And I would think if the female is involved, they need to look out for one another. And I mean, the office situation in terms of bringing up a rule that people should not have office relationship, that should really have been part of at the inception of the company, every company, I think. But you cannot, you find love where you find love. You find people where you find people. But it's about how you present that in a workplace. There's no need for people to know that you're necessarily going out in a workplace. Because as has been said and alluded to earlier, it's a workplace. There are ground rules that means that work needs to happen. It needs to, a company's setup is to make profit. A company setup is to ensure that its staff well-being are top priority. And part of that well-being is ensuring that there are rules and regulations in place that ensures that it does not pull the company back, because this kind of situation can in itself mean that the people involved are not putting in their best. And therefore, the company needs to make sure that it is a rule for everybody. But what has happened has already happened. And again, it's for the company to then come forward that while you're both in this relationship in this company, it's not a reason for you to leave the company because the rules were not there in the first place. But it is about how you conduct yourself for others to follow as well. So it's really important that when situations happen, that companies really come up with a plan that is a one for all and takes into consideration the well-being of the staff that they have. But Elizabeth doesn't need to leave the work if she's, it looks like she's really good at what she does. And the reason for wanting to leave the law is not, it doesn't make sense, really. That is not a reason to leave a job. If you're good at what you do, what you need to do is to understand that you need to, because it reflects on your output at work as well, how you handle situation, be it personal, be it professional. It all interlinks with one another. So those are my thought process. Don't leave the work. Do your job.
Thank you so
get your
much.
money, and keep going.
Thank you so much. I'm just going to read what is in the chat because even the chat is buzzing this morning. Said, I'm not sure this issue here is the office romance. It's the current organization. I know of 5 couples who met at the office and are now happily married with kids. Even though the situation isn't pleasant, it's up to her to accept reality, deal with her emotions, and focus on doing her job until she gets a better workplace. For the mentorship, she can decline now. Now, the next person said, a broken relationship is better than a broken marriage. Now, Odunayo will be the next to speak, but I want to notice something. I took note that everybody commenting, we're talking about Brad, we're talking about Claudia, we're talking about the company. But one thing we all know, life itself, it's not fair. Look at Ukraine, for example. Is it fair that they've been invaded? If you look at Palestine, for example, Hamas went to do something in Israel. Who is suffering it now? The people of Palestine. Life is not always fair. Now, in this being class, the focus is, what will you do? So my question now is Elizabeth taking ownership of her experiences? Yes, from everybody talking, we've all talked about the company. The company has not been fair, what Brad is. Yes, we all know that. It is life, and it's not going to be the first time. It's not going to be the last time. Things will always happen, not relationship, in other aspects of life. But how do we own our relationship? You cannot control what people do. You cannot change somebody else. You cannot change what other people do. You cannot control the experiences that happens to you, but you can control how you experience them. So my question now is, has Elizabeth taken ownership of her experience? So, Mr. Odunayo.
Thank you so much, man. I think you just provided a very, very, I'm so grateful for these classes that we have. It allows you to take a step back and just reevaluate where you're coming from. And you also learn that there's no right position. It's just your own position. And hearing everyone share differently, just improves your thinking or your thought process. And this question you have asked is a very, very good question, and it's tricky that I'm the first person to answer this question. But I agree with you that I don't think from what we have learned so far, Elizabeth is yet to really own the conversation. I think she's also reacting to the conversations that have happened and how that reflects on her, rather than taking ownership and owning the narrative and choosing the right narrative. However, which is from my own position, which is I still think that Brad, anybody can behave as they want to, but my own starting position is how the organization has responded. So she can choose to respond differently. But my own position is, yes, she may not have taken ownership to give it the right and accurate narrative, because Brad can decide to cheat. Like you mentioned, life is unfair. You can start a conversation with someone thinking to end up as a marriage and it doesn't, or you think it should have been better handled, and it didn't. So what do? You have to own that narrative. You have to give it the best interpretation that leads to where you want to go. And for me, my own interpretation is that organization and how they have handled the whole situation is not an organization that I want to be in long term, because I don't think that on their own part they have considered my own starting position properly. So it's not even from Brad or even Claudia. They can behave whichever way they want to. But how has the organization responded to this situation? Because just like Marius mentioned, that's the way I'm taking a look at it. So yes, she may not have owned it totally, but and she needs to own that conversation. So for me, is owning it to determine, is this where I want to be long term? Do I still want to stay in this organization? And if the organization is where she wants to remain, of course, then she has to start giving a different interpretation to the events in a way that it allows her to be in the organization long term, owning the conversation, overlooking it, just like I think it's Madam Bissell who mentioned that you can turn down mentorship of the person for now and say you do that, you have that conversation on the later, but building a system that allows her to be able to respond properly. She may be able to mentor Claudia at a future time, but for now, I just want to put myself together and just have some time to be in a better headspace where I can handle that. But the first interpretation is just knowing whether that organization is where she wants to be long term. And the moment she agrees that I want to be here long term, there's more benefit here, then she can craft the narrative to fit that agenda. Then finally, sorry, I just wanted to mention that I got married to my wife in the same organization. So while I understand what people say about office romance, I think it's both ways. Like we have learned, you see the world as you are. And so there are situations where it didn't work. But in my own case, it worked. I've been married for 5 years now, and I met my wife at work. And so, like Madam Bisola mentioned, it's just how it is handled. Is there maturity on both parts? Do you understand the implication of what you're getting into? Do you have the right intentions? And if that is fine, I think you can meet your wife anywhere. But of course, that's my own opinion and my own experience. Other people can have a different experience. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now, before Omojewe come on board, I want to pick on one word that you said, interpretation. You kept on using that word. Now, have we talked about, what about if Elizabeth saw it as, whoa, this is a bullet dodge. Thank God I didn't go beyond 2 months. Or what if she saw it as, whoa, if that ended in marriage, my life? Do we think she would have reacted differently? Will she have been, would that be a catalyst for growth for her? Because if we remember all the classes we have done here, interpretation in the context, what perspective is she coming from? Is she coming from a victim perspective, or is she coming from an empowerment perspective? So it's she's looking at, oh, this has been done to me. Why isn't that, thank God I didn't marry this guy? Or if she had looked at it and said, oh, I pity Claudia, is this guy he wants to follow? Would she have reacted most? Would she have reacted with her head high up there? Have we thought about it from that angle? You kept on mentioning interpretation. She's giving the interpretation that she is the victim. She's giving the interpretation that the company has been unfair for her. Don't forget, what we are talking here, it's not what happens to us. Sometimes we cannot control what happens to us, but we can control how we react. We can control the interpretation that we give to it. That's the essence of this being class. We are trying to shift our mindset from the victim mentality to owning everything that happens to us, to say whatever happens to us in this life, it's we are the cause of whatever happened to her. Because don't forget, it is not the relationship with Brad that is currently happening to her. What is happening to her is she's feeling down. She's feeling cheated. That is what is happening to her. We are looking at the external. We are not looking at, is she like one of her bosses? Is she a damaged goose? Or is she someone that, thank the Lord, God has saved her from this toxic relationship? Omojewe.
Thank you, ma'am. Yeah, I said before, okay, let me add something to what you said. You said life is not fair. Duncan Williams said, life is not fair. You fight for what you want. So if you don't fight for what you want, you won't get it. And that is just it. Now, for me, Elizabeth has not controlled her emotions. She's not in charge of her emotions. I think the challenge we have most times, we are emotional. We see things emotionally. I will give a practical short story here about my personal life. When I wanted to marry, before I married, I've been married for 11 years to 12 years now. Before then, I wanted to marry somebody. We have done everything. Just a month ago, we have sent messages. My father was alive then, he was preparing. And just a month to go, this lady showed up some attitude. She will seize my shirt. Any small thing, just a month ago. Then I told her, I said, we cancel this wedding. She said, you cannot. That people are aware. I said, okay, don't worry. Because if I was emotional, I would have married her. So I just called my father and said, wedding is over. Imagine a month to go. Church has planned. Everybody, family are ready. Introduction has been done. I said, I'm not doing again. The family called me. They begged me. I said, no. My father said, what happened? I said, I married this girl. It's either I kill her or I divorce her. But I cannot go ahead. And they were like, we have told people. I said, don't worry now. I think I'm a journalist. We will cancel the wedding. So by the time people begin to send me messages, I say, oh, the wedding was postponed based on something because people have not seen her. Only few people know her. So those I know, I told them. And I didn't marry her. And nothing happened. And I forged ahead. And I'm married today. If I had married her then because of emotion, people are aware, family have said we have done introduction, we moved people from another state to another state to go and do introduction. Imagine what would have happened to me. Now, you think I would be happy? I know I will not be happy. So sometimes you pull away your emotions. We are emotional and sentimental about some issues. Oh, what will people say? The man met you in the office. He met another person in the office. Do your job and get away. If we come with that mindset to life, that nobody owes me anything, I owe you nothing. I always tell my wife and my children, I owe you nothing. That's what my father used to tell us, that everything I give to you is a privilege. And I know that if I'm working here, it's a privilege. Whether the office is fair to me, the office is not fair to me. I came there to work. What if I married a husband and it's in another company doing the same thing? What will I do? Will I kill myself? Will I resign? If he says I should mentor, it's my official duty. I take it officially. I do it with joy. I leave it to your conscience. Instead of discussing, because whether you discuss with her, you don't discuss. If she love pride, she will still go ahead. Just do your things and get out of the picture. Sometimes out of emotion, we fall into deeper problem. I don't want people to say, I don't want people to talk, I don't want this to happen. Those things will still happen. If I marry that lady, I know my life will not be stable till today. So for God's sake, people have known, because that's what she was telling, that people have known that how will I do it, she will see it. I said, don't worry, you will go. Simple. And that's how life is. That's my personal life. Oh. I own my emotion and I'm not emotional about anything. I've suffered emotional damage before, so I know what it means. So I'm not emotional about anything. If it happens, take it that way as it comes. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Victor Okudawa. Victor Okudawa. Okay. Is Victor there? Okay, Queen, I saw your hands up. Do you still want to speak?
Okay.
Queen Mariam, do you still want to speak? Okay.
I wanted to say something before the last week I finished what he was saying. Yes, Elizabeth is so emotional. Although I would think that this is a stage by stage, emotions were coming stage by stage. Because first of all, when Brad approached her and talked about the whole issue, she went in to cry to let go of that emotion. And then Claudia came on to tell her about it. And I think she was strong enough to stand and ignore that. Then the boss came on to tell her that she will take over. She will take up training Claudia and that she should handle it as a lady and stuff like that. If you ask me, this is like receiving a bullet back to back. And no matter how strong you are, at a point, one or the bullet will get you. So I believe the bullet that got her was that of the boss. Which goes back to say about how toxic the company is. Then your question is, if she is matured enough to overlook everything, and stand her ground and go about her duty. Well, no matter how strong someone is and how you say I'm in control of my emotions, nothing happens. We are all humans. We're all human. So something must always touch you. The environment has been contaminated to her. I say this because everyone is now looking at her like waiting for her to break. Okay? Some are looking with pity. Some are looking like she's stupid. Some are looking like she should have known. Some are looking like she should have known better. Stuff like that. Now, if we try, no matter how strong she tries to be, to overlook everything, the reaction, the environment, the energy in the working environment will get to her at some point. We are all humans. We work with energy. And when the energy is so high negatively, no matter how strong you are, to get to you. Okay? So I know that no matter how strong she tries to be, to act like the energy is not getting to her, it will. And that's where it will affect her mental health. Because she's going to be working against the energy. She's going to try to generate positive energy against the huge negative energy in the air. So I don't think, if I was the one, I would not stay there that long. As I said earlier on, being the person that she is, she has a high say in the company. So walking out of the company won't be hard. It will just take a week or two to walk into another company, have the deliberation with them, and get a new job. It's as simple as that. So
Thank you.
that's for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Now I'm going to read some of the comments because the comment is buzzing this morning. Bisola said, I am everything where possible. Start with the end in mind. Oge said, Haba, cold. Vic says, last speaker is great and no emotions attached. I think she's referring to Omojewe. But now, before Victor speaks, I want to remind us, where are we coming from? Who are you being? Don't forget our being class. Say everything. Being is the cause of everything in your life. If Elizabeth is coming from this place, what will the whole situation look like? If she's coming from, say, not blaming herself to say, I am the cause of everything that happens to me. I'm not going to let this put me down. She is not looking at what other people are doing. She's not looking at the company. She's not looking at Brad, but she's looking at herself. How do I want to experience this? What do I want from this? You know, do we think she's coming from that place or she's coming from where is she coming from? Where is she? Who are you being? Victor Okudua, I don't know if you're still there. We can't hear you. I'm not sure if it's your internet, but we cannot hear you. So if you type something in the chat, I will read it out, but we can't hear you. Okay.
Hi, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Okay, so yeah, the being class has taught us that usually what happens to us is as a result of where we are looking forward to get to in the ending. Like like action should be based off of the end in mind. And on reading this article, you would realize that from the beginning, Elizabeth didn't have a conversation with Brad on what they were actually doing. She had a lot of assumptions that they were exclusive. She had assumptions that they were heading somewhere. There was really no definition of the relationship to begin with. Now, it's not to kill Elizabeth for, liking somebody can happen to anybody. But as at today, when she's found herself in a tangle where she has to, behave like she's okay, or everybody's expecting her to be okay, and then still carry out her duties in the office. I try to put myself in people's shoes a lot, especially when I read some of these things or I hear some of these stories. I reverse the roles and be like, okay, if I were Elizabeth, what would I be feeling? Naturally, I'll be feeling very betrayed because, of course, Brad gave off the impression that she was special and the rest of it. I'll feel stupid because I allowed Brad also into my life without asking the needed questions, without getting things defined. I also feel very ashamed again because I feel like my colleagues will be disappointed in me. I'll also be disappointed in my. These are the things I was just asking. I'll feel a lot of emotions. Now, I'll ask myself some key questions. Like you said, is she taking responsibility for, the things happening in her life? This is where you now take charge. First of all, is acknowledging what's happening. Am I happy? No. Am I miserable? Yes. Am I going to break down? Most likely. What do I do to get out of it? If I have to cry, honestly, I'll cry. If I have to shout, I'll shout. If I have to take leave days, I'll take. I need to do what needs to be done to move forward. I need my job. Very important. I need to get paid. Do I need to change jobs? Well, I'll move to the next company if I have to, if I don't want to deal with the environment. Imagine where, okay, the Brad human being that we've been close, you gave me the impression of, okay, I'm going to be safe with you, blah, blah, blah. And then you're feeling like you need to move on. And you're having a conversation with me like, oh, I should know better that I will handle it professionally. What we're doing is not professional. We're being personal in our professional space. Are you expecting me to handle my personal, emotional life professionally? And, unfortunately, I can't control what Brad is expecting. but I should be able to like tell myself the truth. Really, did I mess up? Yes. What do I do from here? Do I want to be crying every day in the office? It's not good for me, you know. So I just have to really, my own, I believe in telling myself the truth, facing the fact. Yes, it's a mess. I need 2 weeks to leave. I'll go on the leave, think about my life, cry if I have to, then come back. Do I want to come back to the office? Okay, yes. If I have to come back, how do I survive in the office now? Because the girlfriend is even there and she's meeting me to tell me that the board wants me to attend the seminar with you. I mean, what is all that? You guys are going to be rubbing it. So it's about me. Can I deal? No, I leave. Get another. If I cannot get a job now and I still have to come back, then what do I do to cope in that space? Personally, I can say, oh, I don't want to have this conversation. Personally, I can say I don't want to greet anybody. I don't want to talk to the people self. But like, will I be able to execute my job effectively? Will it help me? So the end in mind, at least when my head is clear, that's just what I was thinking in my head. Like, how do I cope with this? Honestly, thank you.
Thank you so much. Before Vic come on, I just want to read another comment in the chat. He said, Victor Okudaye said, I believe that love can be very blinding and can make humans not just a specific gender, have a narrow-minded view and not be able to pull ourselves out of situations and view our situation from a third person's view, where we can really retrospect and introspect on the situations. From practicing the skills, we will be able to tackle the situation before it becomes detrimental. I feel Elizabeth had used these skills, she would have been able to see through Brad's facade and treated the situation accordingly. Now, Omojere wrote, you are right that everyone has a soft spot on where they could be hit. That is why we have to deal with it now, else it will become fear that we will keep running from seasonally. Once we'll deal with an issue, it's over. Thanks a lot. Let's hear what Vic has to say. Vic.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah. I've listened to what everybody has said. I like to take your perspective about, is Elizabeth taking ownership of what has happened? She should move from victim perspective and move to a victor mindset. One, she doesn't own Brad. It's just 2 months romance. And she feels that she has not discussed anything with this guy on, where are we going to? It's just a sudden love fling, and then they stuck with it for 2 months, and the guy has moved on. I'm sure if she has looked very well before that her 2 months thing with this guy, the guy would have moved on with other people in that office, or has seen him bringing girls or all. Sometimes we want to blame other people from our own short sight, or from our own how will I put it? Poor vision.
Shortcomings.
Yeah, shortcomings. Yeah. It's just 2 months. She doesn't own this guy. She's not married. So she should move on. Just take it that, God has saved me from this guy. If he had married the guy, and after 2 months of marriage, the guy moved on to this Elizabeth, will she go and jump into the sea? It is sometimes to look into yourself and say, in every bad thing, there's something that is preventing me from even going into a deeper hole. That's where I look at things. God has saved this lady, and she should go back, look at herself, look at what are her criteria, what are her mindset in marriage or in love, what am I looking for? Reevaluate yourself and make some certain points. I will move on with this person, another person, if these criteria are not met. Because if not, she will jump into another relationship to make sure that she's fighting them. And at the end of the day, it will fail because she has not made her own, she has not gone back to herself. and realize where is the fault.
Oh, thank you so much, Vicky. Now, I'm going to let Bisola speak. Then after that, we will hear Mr. Tunde speak. Then we are going to go into, we have been talking about the problem. We have been talking about this, so many things. I want us to go into another space. And we're going to go into the space where how can she turn her pain into power? I want to see ideas. Yes, we have flogged the issues. We have flogged what has happened to her. We need to go. I need that mind shift. How she will turn her pain into power. How does she reframe her narrative? We have attended this being class. We are still talking about how we used to be. We're still talking about the way we used to react. We need to come out of the old person. How does she reframe her narrative? How does she turn this pain into power? Bisola, if you will allow Bisola to speak for about 30 seconds, then Mr. Tunde will speak. Thank you.
So this has been really interesting in terms of the scenario that we have here. And the proverb, I think it's a proverb that keeps coming back to mind, is about blind men feeling of an elephant from different angles and how they think they are right, so to say. And it's interesting that, how society or how we are made to believe that relationships should be, and it almost sort of highlights the need to be very careful. And as I said before, about having the end in mind in all things, which is not always the easiest thing, of course, when you find yourself in this situation. But the way Elizabeth is behaved, and how it's quite classic, I would say. Often enough, this is the way that most people will behave, in that I've been hurt, I demand or I expect more, and this is not how it should have turned out. And meanwhile, Brad is happily just moving on and, doing his thing, and one woman after the other. And it's interesting that and how we learn from situations is also key in order to make sure that it does not repeat itself. Either that is a case of understanding what you want out of a relationship and hoping that the next one that comes along will be better for what you have learned from the past, so that you're not stuck in the past, but you're moving forward at all times. So it is really an eye-opener to listen to everyone and their perspective of what they would do. But actually, of course, while you're in the situation, is different from when you're looking at it from the outside. But it's great to be on the outside in this situation to learn from, so that when you to be in that situation, you're more prepared going forward. I just wanted to highlight that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Tunde.
Okay, thank you
I've
very
been seeing
much.
you laugh all throughout.
Yeah. I'm really learning a lot. It's good to sit as an observer. Now, personally, it's interesting, and it's classes like every time we hold these classes, I keep seeing my position change from where I was at the beginning of the class. I was really emotional reading the case, and I think Mr. Adunayo posted on the WhatsApp group. Brad did not, I don't know, Brad did not try at all. So I was in that same group with Mr. Adunayo. But listening to different this thing now, I'm seeing other perspective that I did not see. Bisola said something, blind people trying to feed an elephant and touching different parts of the body. It's, as our two persons that's listening to them, I want to have 10% of their being on this matter, Odunayo and Dr. Vic. So I think I lean towards the emotional part a lot. So I get involved in business affairs, private affairs. It's first all emotional. There is no, I don't even think of where the thing is going to. And midway, I am hot. So, but one of the things I've been trying to see in this year, the various being classes, trying to see that I am more intentional. Now, like I always say, and I own up, if I want to score myself with all the plenty being classes, I don't still think I score above 5/10. There are still many situations where I'm just going and being led by the emotions, but I know I'm getting better. That I've started at all. Elizabeth should just, if you refer to our class on being the cause of everything in your life, and it takes the question inside, because the outside, one of the things in being is that there is nothing you can do about the outside when I had, but you can always decide the context of your life. And that context will survive any externality. You can always decide the context. So I'm getting in, I don't even know, so many assumptions. I don't know who was talking about, a lot of assumptions in this thing. So we just jump in from the 2 months she's going out with Brad. Did any question come? Am I the only one? Where is this thing going to? And you want to be sure. Somebody said in the case, look, she was not promised exclusivity. Now, if I can just, for me, the first thing is, even the question whether I stay in the company or I go, I won't be able to answer it. I don't think Elizabeth is in that state of being or state of mind to even answer it right now, unless she's able to turn the question to herself. Where did I go wrong? No, not go. Who was I being in entering this thing? Wow. I was being very unconscious. Many of us in life, something Omojowe said about the marriage that didn't go ahead. I know for some of us, it might look really harsh, but sometimes it's just living to the applause of other people. Later on, they won't be there when you are going through the suffering. She needs to calm down. When I finished reading the case, I read about 3 times. The 3rd time I said, she's not in a place of mind to even know whether to leave or not. But sitting in the class now, so I am the cause of this thing. It will just look, the tears will dry up within 5 minutes. All the girl will see Claudia. You are seeing Claudia behaving like vegetable. You are doing it. They are calling you. No, all these vegetative states will just disappear. I am the cause. I didn't even think. I didn't ask. I assumed. Oh my God. So knowing that I am the cause, in my being I am the cause, what do I want now? That will put you in the frame. Because one of the things, there's an article I have from Harvard Business this thing. Sometimes just knowing what you want in life, it can be problematic. It's not ABCD. Because different things collapse into one. The heart collapse into your being, the this, the that. Oh, you are not even in a neutral state to see again. So, but just turning the ball. So, who should I have been? Now, what can I learn? So, I don't know who was speaking. I think whether is I don't know, is it Bisola, the person before Bisola? What are the things I can take away, learn from this thing? If I internalize it that I'm the cause, okay, I don't want this thing. Vernon Howard said, as long as you remain a psychological wrong woman, this thing will happen again. So if there is no learning, you are going to fall for the next flirting. You are going to fall for it. But what can I learn? What in me can I change? This class really helps me because I like when I go into a class, I leave the class with a different perspective. I'm really living with all my perspective before the class was Elizabeth has been fairly untreated. The company, Brad, but going back, she has a role to play. Once you say you have a role to play, any problem changes. If you don't believe you have a role, you will continually see people, the world, the nation, everybody doing you something. They're always doing something to you. You never do anything. You are never a participant in your own life. I will stop here. Thank you very much, Jane.
Thank you. Now, I'm going to put the vote out. If you read the article, the question is, should Elizabeth stay at the company or not? Before we begin to go into turning pain into power, if you think Elizabeth should leave the company, raise your hands. Nobody's raising their hands. This is interesting because, okay. 1, 2. So we've got 2 votes. to say Elizabeth should leave the company. Okay. Now, if you believe Elizabeth, those that have raised their hand, if you can drop your hands, if you think Elizabeth should stay with the company, raise your hands. Stay and regain control.
I want to tweak the question a little bit.
Okay.
If you think that Elizabeth should stay for a while until you get another job to process, how, a lot of people talked about that point too. So there should be like about 3 options. The option of leaving immediately may be the first one that you have raised, which I'm not raising my hand for again after all this discussion. Yeah, thank you.
Good. So the first one, okay, let's start the poll again. If everybody drops their hands, the first question is, if you think Elizabeth should leave the company immediately. Yeah.
Can we take this poll? Because I know Zoom take a poll where you can just click and you get the decision.
Yes, we didn't set because we didn't set it up. We only wanted to set it up this morning with Mr. Tunde, but the people were already joining, so we couldn't set it up. So next time, hopefully, that's what we're going to do. I've spoken to Mr. Tunde this morning.
Thank you, ma'am.
Oh. So if you believe that Elizabeth should leave immediately, raise your hands. Leave immediately. So we have 2 hands raised, okay? Now, if you believe Elizabeth should stay and regain control, then decide to leave at her own time, raise your hands. So I can see that at the end of this, those that think Elizabeth should stay and regain control are more. Now, if you are undecided, raise your hands. You are undecided. You are undecided. You are not sure what she should do. Raise your hands. Okay. Okay.
Right. Answer something.
You okay?
I am on the part that Elizabeth should see and ride the ship to the end. That's what I'm saying, because I'm saying for them to break up. I'm saying for the CEO to leave. I'm saying for the
I like your spirit. In fact, I'm going to fight Claudia.
So the thing is that there is one thing that is clear. More people believe that Elizabeth should not leave immediately. Now, that is where the next discussion is really crucial. We have 10 minutes. She needs to, because if she's going to stay, there is one thing that I've been consistent in the class. We are talking about being. We know that it's not easy to ignore. We've all talked about the emotional side. Everybody has been passionate about it. But like I will always say, life is not fair. This is what we go through. It might not be relationship. We go through these things in our place of work where you feel you're being treated unfairly. How do you turn that pain into power? How do you turn that pain into power? So that as many people can talk as possible. If you're coming to talk, try to make it brief, 15 seconds. How do you... We have explored the topic. Yes, it's unfair. Bradford treated her unfair, or whatever we want to go to. We have talked. But this is the situation right now. Life needs to go on. She has this fantastic job she loves. It's paying the bills. Yes, the company is toxic. What will she... If you are in her position, what will you do? And most of us are saying she needs to stay and ride it on. So how does she turn this pain into power? Vic.
I don't think Vic dropped her hands before.
Okay.
So, Omojewe.
Okay.
Okay. Good morning again. You
Good
speak
morning.
like a journalist. So I attended an emotional intelligence class like this. Then I was having issue with my former job, serious issue. I wanted to leave. Just like you asked, The man just unconsciously asked us, he said, anytime you are facing stress in your workplace, think of something that can keep you. Think of something that you can utilize that will cover that emotion. I went back the finest period of my life. That's when I stayed in the next 1 year to build myself. So I wrote down, I want to build myself better and above this place. By the time I finished what I was doing, I knew I was above that place. So I concentrated my energy on self-development and mentoring. People were mentoring me as at that period. So I looked for people who were mentoring me and I did better after 1 year. Something I want to leave that week, I stayed for an extra year and I left. Thank you, man.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. How to stay in power, or how to get her power back is to win. Like she has never won before. Focus her energies into success in her sales, and then become more bright than ever. Channel the energies, the pain to winning. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Queen.
Okay. The fact that they need her to mentor Lauda means that she has a lot of things to offer. So if I was in her shoes, I would stay back and then I would try my best to turn that policy, the office romance policy, in a different direction. Because now it seems like some party are favored over the office romance. So we're going to make a new policy where the rule is going to be equal. If you say no office policy, good and fine. Nobody should practice it. I don't care who the person is. If you say it is allowed, then we now have to outline how it goes. But I'm staying back, and if possible, I might even stay back to begin to fight for a higher position. So that's my own take on it.
Thank you. Vic said in the chat that Elizabeth should leave at her time when she's prepared. Solomon.
Yes, hello. Can I say
Okay,
something?
yeah, Vic.
Yes.
Yeah.
I believe Elizabeth should stay. Turn this situation. She's at the receiving point, but there's a way she can turn it around and be a victor at the end of the day. Quitting now is not an ideal situation because of her finances. She has to look inwards and make the best out of this. Thank you.
Thank you. Solomon. Solomon, you need to unmute yourself. Okay. Solomon, you are muted. So I'm going to go to Bisola. Bisola.
Should I say or should I go? Really, I think for her, it is important that she stays for for the right reasons, and she goes for the right reason. The decision to stay or to go really comes down to why. And it's important that she defines a why for her own personal reasons, not because of necessarily of the situation, because as I said, as has already been said, these things will happen and can happen again, regardless of where she is. But it is important that she can either help shape the culture within the company by ensuring that these petty things does not deflect from the real reason for being at work in the first place. So if she was to go, regardless of her financial situation, she needs to go because it's the right thing for her, not because of the emotional situation that has happened, but what she's learned to ensure that it does not affect her work output. Because if she's going to go to another workplace, she needs to make sure that she doesn't fall into the same trap and is be able to dissociate emotional situations like this from work requirements. They're not interchangeable. And she should not allow one thing to affect the other. She's on a trajectory in her own destiny, and that destiny is already preordained, if you like, and therefore how she reacts as she goes through to ensure that she becomes a better version of herself as she moves on is really key. Thank you.
Thank you. Tos.
Okay. From the story, she's good at what she does, and for me, during the period I stay, let her impact be felt again. When she's leaving, the company knows that they are losing an asset because they said She's not just good at sales, she's able to even, discuss with investors to become customers. So I think she should use that period to make the company knows that this person is an asset. So bring in your best and let them know that outside whatever that has happened, this person you are seeing here is an asset, and when I leave, you are losing an asset. That will be my position.
Okay. Solomon, are you able to unmute yourself now? Okay. Now, I'm going to share my own personal opinion. Sometimes in life, we need to learn to live through the shame. It's one thing I have learned in recent years. Sometimes as humans, you think, oh, what are people saying about me? What are they thinking about me? And you're just there eating yourself up. The truth is that nobody is saying anything about you. People have things that are going through their mind. You sit down and you begin to think you're walking, somebody just looks at you. Person might not have even seen you. You say, oh, he's looking at me because of what happened. They didn't even know that you passed. I'm beginning to realize, I have seen that in so many situations. You have to live. If you don't live through the shame, you will keep changing jobs. Sometimes growth comes from living through the shame. It's something I was speaking to my niece one time. She was going through a lot of trouble in her workplace. She was so good and everything. And she said, oh, auntie, I'm going to leave the job. The accountant and the HRO, they are ganging against me. They don't like me. I told her that you don't need to be liked. What is the policy? Are you following what is happening in the organization? I say, you're focusing on what? When they pass you and look at you and say hi to you, you read meaning to the way they've said hi to you. I say, it's in your head. Nobody, they are not. Say, just do your job and forget about it. Right, to look for a distraction to distract you. And by the time she did it, she said, auntie, it's true. I don't think they are thinking about me. I said, when you focus on the fact that they are thinking about you, everything that happens around you, you read meaning to it. Sometimes, let it even be that they are talking about you. And so what? If they talk about you, what is it? Are you the first person to be talked about? It doesn't matter if they are talking about you. In short, if they are talking about you, it means that people are dedicating a portion of their brain, the time that they will use to do something, to talk about you. That's a good thing. You must be really, really special for somebody to sit down and be talking about you. We need to learn to live through the shame. Sometimes I found that in some situation, I don't leave. When I mess up, I don't leave. When you stay, you find a way. You see, I've worked with some people that I felt they really hated me. And at the end, we become best of friends, really, really close. And they say, oh, Janice, I never really know this part of you. They forget it. People forget easily. People forget easily. Learn to live through the shame. It's in your head. Nobody is. You see, imagine when Claudia came to say hi to her, Elizabeth thought that, oh, Brad has already told her. Oh, that's not what happened. She just wanted to tell her that, one, we are engaged. Then two, because maybe, have you thought about it that she felt, oh, she'll really feel bad if she hears from somebody else that we are engaged? And she felt the nice thing to do is that, let it come from me that we're engaged. Then secondly, she just wanted to say that, I have been asked that you're going to mentor me. But what did Elizabeth read to it? She felt, this girl that has stolen my boyfriend, I want to come and mentor her. When you see where there is nothing, to be fair, with Elizabeth's state of mind, there is nothing Claudia is going to do. Nothing Claudia is going to do. She's going to read meaning to it. Claudia cannot win. That is just the truth. So we need to learn how to turn our pain into power. And one of the ways you can do that, because like somebody said in the chat, as women, especially us as women, we are very, very emotional. But something I have learned, thoughts come before feelings. In one of the last sessions that Mr. Tunde was talking about, if you are siding in this Palestine and Israel war, for example, if you are siding Israel, it's because you are biased towards Israel. You feel Israel is the promised land. Oh, they have done this to Israel. But if you are with Palestine, it's because you are feeling, oh, is it because of 1,700 people they killed in Israel? Palestine now, over 50,000 people have been killed. It's unfair. It's your thought. It depends on where you are. That determines your feelings. That's why when you hear something has happened to the other person, it is the position you are taking. That is why you are either celebrating or not celebrating. If you know that your thoughts precede your feelings, and you're feeling this way, what I'm learning recently, I'll say, why am I feeling this way? Why am I feeling anxious? Why am I feeling angry? It's because I am feeling that this person has done me unfairly. If I stop thinking that they have done me unfairly, the feelings will go. You need to be sincere with yourself. You need to tell yourself, what am I being right now? What am I feeling right now? It's because of the position you have taken. You want to change the way you're feeling? Change the position you're taking. All Elizabeth needs to do is to say, thank the Lord I did not marry this guy. That's how he would have cheated with me. Her feelings, she will stop being a victim. Rather, she'll say, all the best, be flaunting him around. It's none of my business. So I'm just happy that I've escaped him. I didn't marry him. Or her emotions will change. When Claudia comes, she'll say, oh yeah, hello, Claudia, how you doing? She will ask, oh, how you and Brad? In your mind is, how are you and the baggages that you have carried? The way she will start reacting her, even Claudia will be wondering, what's happening here? Because she'll say, baggages, okumukoro that you have carried, that one that will cheat on you. She has turned her pain into power. It is where she's standing. But if she keep telling, this girl stole my boyfriend, this girl did this to me, she'll keep feeling that. You need to change the position where you are standing. What is your thought process? Change it. Sometimes it might be difficult, but sometimes one of the ways to do that is to speak to yourself. I tell myself, I can do this. Oh, sometimes I just talk. Oh, yeah, what's it concern me? This guy, he would have cheated with me anyway. He would have, if the marriage would have broken. Thank the Lord, I don't want a broken marriage. You need to begin to say things that you need to speak to yourself. And sometimes when we speak things out, it makes things more powerful. This is 8:37. I told myself that today we're not going to go past 8:40. It's been a pleasure facilitating this section, and I hope that each and every one of us, we have gained something. I will round up to say, there is no right or wrong answer in today's situation. Ultimately, Elizabeth should not make an impulsive decision. She must first take ownership of her experience. She has to take a proactive approach of being. That is, we are the architects of our own experience. By taking this view, we can shift from a place of victimization into one of empowerment. Till we'll see you next Saturday, same time. Join this class. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Jane. Thank you very much. So it's been an interesting. Okay, Harriet, you wanted to say something?
No. Go on. I was just thanking her back, sir.
Okay. So Harriet, I'll be glad if the next one is you, and so DM me after.
No, sir.
Please, okay, Mr. Adunayo. So let me know. Let me not be mentioning names, but I'm expecting 1 or 2 persons to DM me after today's class, so that me too, I'll be having the enjoyment of different perspectives. So it's been an interesting class, and as Jane was rounding up, I remembered something in Tracy Gore's book, which I recommended to the commissioner in Lagos State yesterday, and he said he's diving into the book. He said, when you keep having this way of living, should and shouldn't, this is the way life should go, this is the way life shouldn't go. He said you will be going through a lot of these miseries a lot. He says, what is happening before you and how are you going to deal with it? He says there's always this, if you look at the situation we're looking at, what should have happened, what should not have happened. why were somebody like myself and Odunayo initially very emotional on the side of Elizabeth? No, he should not have, he should have, he should not have. Once you drop all the should and should not have, this is what is going on. This is my responsibility in it. Throw away all the interpretations. There are over 1,000 interpretations in every situation. I'm not going to sit on the interpretations. What has happened? This is what has happened. So what do I want to do with this? In the book, The Owner-Victim Mentality, the victim is always dwelling on should and shouldn't. Should, life is unfair. Life should have happened, life should not have happened. My father should not have died in a road accident. He's dead now anyway. The company should not have closed. The company has closed. Are you going to get a new job? This one should not have happened. The economy should not have. The economy will go on. Tracy God says life is going on irrespective of your should and shouldn't. It is good that we begin to learn how to drop all this should and shouldn't. What is happening before me? Who do I need to be to deal with it? Get that personality and deal with the situation. Thank you very much. And until we meet again, have a pleasant week ahead. I'm looking forward to a DM for next week facilitation. Thank you very much and God bless.
Amen. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, Jane. Thank you. I like your summary, honestly.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Bye.
Bye.